Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I am ready to drop on you my updated Falcon Fist Falconer. Yes, this is a truly unarmed build. Now the old version was right around 200 corruption. At time of recording, this new version is at 539 corruption. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay, currently at 539 corruption. Now the skills we are using for this unarmed Falcon Fist is Shift, Falconry, Shuriken, Smoke Bomb, and Cinder Strike. And this build is focused around the unique pair of gloves, Falcon Fist. And what that means is that you're going to get a big boost to your damage based upon how many points you have into Falconry, and it's going to boost your Cinder Strike. That is why the build basically tells us what skills to use. And right now I've got 36 points into Falconry, so it would be 36 times 16 is our actual base melee damage. Let me round up all these enemies. Look at this. That's at 539 corruption. Shift is automated, or shurikens are automated when we use shift. And ultimately the build is pretty simple. Your Falcon and you both kind of share damage. And basically the Falcon's going to be marking enemies and then you are going to be tearing them up. And your Falconry, as long as you are attacking, basically has no cooldown. You just got to be able to manage the mana. So the Falcon marks the target and then you blow them up. Just absolutely destroying. Now I will show you a couple boss encounters. So this is Spirits of Fire boss, triple fire guys, fire versus fire. And obviously we are a melee attack, so you can't stand still for too long. But this is 490 corruption. And you'll see our endurance bar just bouncing like crazy, the yellow. That's because it goes up when we don't get hit and it goes up when we stand still. So it's moving like crazy. But ultimately, even at 490 corruption, using 0 ward, as long as you are careful. Look at that, just spamming Falcon. You will tear them up. 539 corruption Nemesis fight. Drop that loot. Smoked. Lastly, Shade of Oribus. This is at 496 corruption, right at that 500 mark. Again, keep your mana positive. You just keep spamming Falconry, which keeps marking the target, and you're just getting huge damage, almost guaranteed crits on that first attack, and kill threshold. No problem. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, and I'll try and show you the order in which to take these points, starting with our movement skill Shift. We're going to go fairly quick through this. Shift, first thing you want to do is get Sleight of Hand. This is going to make it where shurikens are now automated. Every time you use Shift, it is going to trigger your shurikens. You're then going to want to come down, and you want to get cooldown recovery, and you want to get haste after you use this for extra movement speed. You want to make sure you add a shadow with your relic, which you will see during the gear portion. The more shadows you have, the more chance you have damage reduction. And then you want to come here to the left and get mana, vulnerability, and dodge. Moving over to Cinder Strike, where I currently have 31 points invested. Now, the first thing you want to do is get your first 9 points in Inferno and Blast Wave. This is going to give you an 80% damage multiplier and increased area. You then want to come down and boost your critical strike chance, get critical strike vulnerability chance, and boost your attack speed. You're then going to want to come to the right and get oil coating, which is going to give you fire penetration, and then come straight down here and get critical strike chance. Moving over to Falconry, and this one is really hard. Right now I've got 36 points. Really hard to explain. We basically have every single node that helps this build. 36 points into Falconry. Now what I recommend is coming to the left first, actually taking the top nodes first. This is going to give you cooldown, so you can use it basically whenever you want. You're going to be marking enemies 150% damage. The Falcon's can inflict an additional mark, and the Falcon's going to use part of your damage. Give you health and mana, additional strikes, kill threshold, additional strikes again, Cooldown recovery when you hit an enemy, slow and frailty stacks. It is going to take your global melee for your damage, crit strike chance, and crit strike buff multiplier. And then to the left here, all three of these nodes are going to buff your Falcon's damage. 36 points. Moving over to Shurikens, this one's also very easy. You want to come over here and take every node for your blade shield, which is going to buff your armor. You want it to pierce 100% so they never go away. You then want to come to the left and get 100% blind chance. Blinded enemies cannot crit, and you're going to immobilize them. Your final 2 points down here is going to give you some physical shred. Last but not least, Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb, what you want to do is come down here and grab Lingering Fumes and Smoke Blades. This is going to give you base 20 to your Cinder Strike. You then want to come down, get Crimson Shroud, get Generosity, and then you want to get Silver Shroud and Cleanse Ailments. You then want to come up, slow attack in area, and your last points you want into Shadow Cascade, so you make shadows. Again, shadows from Shadow Cascade and from Shift, based upon your gear, have a chance to give you added DR. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the passive tree. At time of recording, I'm level 97, and I'll show you where to put those final 3 points. Now, obviously, we are a Falconer, and in the base tree, we have 32 points. We have 8 into Swift Assassin, attack speed physical, 8 into Steady Hand, 1 into Sonic Boom, 5 into Evasion, 5 into agility, and 5 into dodge and parry. Now, you're going to be very tanky when you are moving, so you got to be careful when you stand still, but this is going to give you a bunch of damage reduction, and this build has 100% glancing blow chance, which again is going to help keep you alive later on. We have 65 points into Falconry. We are taking the top 3 right here: Wilderness Scout, Outlander's Tenacity, and Stamina and Rover. Stamina and Rover isn't super needed, but there's really nothing down here that I felt was better. So this will help keep you positive mana when you are triggering Falconry all the time. We have 5 into Fencing Grace. Your block chance is converted to Glancing Blow. That is how we're getting a guaranteed Glancing Blow. You don't have enough block effectiveness for it to be an actual good survivability mechanic, so we'd rather just max out our Glancing Blow since we use a shield. 1 into Coordinated Fade. This is going to make it where you have Silver Shroud all the time. 6 into Invasion Tactics, 6 into Feathers, and 3 into Relentless Talons. This health gained on Falcon hit is awesome because your Falcon's hitting like absolute crazy. We want it to be an instant cast. We have 1 into Final Souvenir and 3 into Strike their flank. All the enemies will be slowed, so you get a little bit of multiplicative damage based upon the 3 stacks. And then down here, 6 into Tailwind, which is going to help you with survivability. Oh, I'm sorry. And 6 into Needle-like Precision, which is going to help you and your Falcon's damage. Okay. Moving over to Blade Dancer. We have nothing in Marksman. 8 into Cloak of Shadows, which is your Dex and Glancing Blow. And right now I have 5 into Once. This is going to be your melee physical base. My final 3 points will be going right here, which will be a level 100 Falconer. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now, pretty straightforward. We have gone into survivability blessings. We've got void resistance, all resistance, physical resistance, and increased stun chance. Now, this blessing right here, this is the Spirits of Fire blessing. You can take flat armor, fire shred, endurance, fire damage, fire resistance, stun duration, or dodge rating. This one, pick whatever you need. I am taking flat armor, but you could also go into endurance if you need to try and get to that 60%, but tons of awesome blessings in Spirits of Fire. Moving over to idols. Now we are using 4 standard double life idols. We are also using increased life and increased armor shred duration. And then on the outside, we're taking double armor shred. So chance to apply shred armor on a melee hit and increased armor shred duration on both of them. All right. Moving over to gear. Now, this is the first time ever. The first time I've ever made a build guide that is using all legendary items. And I will explain. Like I showed you during the skills portion, right now my Falcon has 36 points. And there is a reason for this. That is because this build is focused around Falcon Fists. And again, Cinder Strike's melee damage per level of Falconry while unarmed, which means if you get this perfectly rolled, it'll be 16 times 36. That is how much melee flat damage you are going to get. Absolutely insane. So you want as many points to Falconry as humanly possible. And I will show you where we get those points. Peak of the Mountain, +4 to Falconry, and is going to take care of our critical strike chance. That's 4. Nihilus, +2. That gets us to 6. We're using a Kestrel. This is going to get us to 7. Relic, this is going to get us to 8. And again, on the Relic, 1 in 6 chance to take 25% less damage per active shadow. That's why you want to get those shadows out. So we are now at 8, 10 on our Phantom Grip, 2 Dominion skills, 12, 2 Phantom Grips, and then, of course, 4 on our Falcon Fist. This is how we got 36 points. We are also using a Thorn Slinger. This is going to give us movement skill and +1 to physical skills. Unfortunately, this doesn't actually work towards Falconry, but what it will do is give you a skill for Cinder Strike and for Shurikens, and give you some reflect and movement speed. Lastly, we are using Foot of the Mountain. This helps us with our mana cost when we are spamming our Falcon, and it is going to give you a ton of endurance when you're standing still. So when you're sitting there and you're hitting enemies, you're going to get a huge boost to your endurance threshold. This is how I'm over 2,000 endurance consistently. So that is the gear. The only item that is actually required, okay, is Falcon Fist. The build does not work without this item. This is the unarmed item. But the rest is what I consider best in slot. And again, no weapon required. So now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I go from level 1 to endgame? I will show you. Now, for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a Blade Dancer, Marksman, or a Falconer. I use the exact same skill to level. You don't have to agree. This is what I like, and it's actually Cinder Strike, which is perfect for this build. And all I do is I snag these top 2 nodes. And you want to get attack speed as well. So basically, you just take these 3, which is perfect because it'll actually lead into the build. Now, for leveling, though, you do not want to go unarmed. You actually want to go dual wielding. And one great item you can use, you can't dual wield it, but you do want to use Firestarter's Torch, which is an awesome leveling item, and it is fire-based, so it'll work absolutely perfect with Cinder Strike. The other skill you want to take is Shift, of course, and you want to take these 2 nodes right here so you could traverse through the campaign quickly. Now, for your third skill, this is up to you. You could go Shurikens and just auto-trigger them through your Shift if you want. You can take Smoke Bomb, and you can come down here and boost your damage. But what a lot of people do is you take Explosive Trap, and then you come here and you snag this node. Hold on to this. This makes it when you hit an enemy or a melee attack, you will actually attach a trap to them, and you can come over here and drop more traps. So that way you don't have another button to push. You can just spam Cinder Strike, dual wielding with your Firestarter's Torch while putting on explosive traps while traversing with Shift. You will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and refreshed Falcon Fist? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I could do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A couple of asks at the end. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Check out the Discord. We're approaching 4,200 members. We're kind of the unofficial voice chat for Last Epoch. We also have a brand new community event coming up September 19th for the mid-cycle refresh. And we have a community event coming September 29th for Dwarven Realms 1.0. Last but not least, check out my Patreon. It is the best way to support into the future. It's the first link in the description. You get access to the VIP lounge, movie night, game night, exclusive content. Again, first link in the description for the Patreon. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.